Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's been a minute since I've been able to go on here and do what we call like a GOAT moment. However, here we are. And I normally do not do it through like a restream type vibe. However, I'm doing it today because I know a lot of people that follow our fasting. And so, because I know a lot of people are fasting, I know that when they log on to their other devices, they'll be able to see this live. They'll be able to go back and watch this live. And I feel like it's very, very important. It's not just something that is just for, Facebook. We're just going to put it everywhere. So, listen, I want to talk a little bit and then I got to go to work because y'all know how it is. But excuse me, I want to talk a little bit about the reason why you're stuck, right? The real reason why you're stuck. When you come in, just say hello. This is super informal. Y'all could talk back because y'all know I love a talk back church. I'm going to tag a couple people really quickly. Tag your friends. Listen, the real reason why you're stuck. And I know a lot of times these are conversations that we don't have enough of, is the real reason why we're not executing, the real reason why we're not seeing growth, the real reason why we're not seeing the things that we've been asking for, the things that we've been praying for. And a lot of times the conversation becomes, about everybody else, what we don't have, what we're not able to achieve, what was not given to us. I didn't grow up like this. I didn't grow up having this. I didn't have this person. I didn't have that person. And so a lot of times we think that the reason why we're stuck has a lot to do with a lot of external factors. And I'm not dismissing the fact that you won't have external barriers, right? You won't have external things that are going to come up, whether it's money, resources, blessings, whether it's money, resources, people, those kind of things. Those are things that, a lot of times I hear people say, why haven't I achieved my goals? Why haven't I reached the thing that I said that I desire? However, a lot of what I have found is actually it's not an external problem. Majority of the reason why many people are stuck has everything to do with internal things and the things that happen in us internally. Good morning. The things that happen with us internally affect how we show up externally, right? And so I'm gonna say this: some of us don't have a team. Let's be honest. Some of us don't have a team, not because it's not people that are willing to help us, but we can be honest and say it's the internal things that are inside of me that have been keeping me from being able to connect with people so that I can fulfill the things that I want to fulfill. All right? If it makes sense, just say hey. All right. And so the reason why we have to have these conversations is because in church we don't, right? We don't have these conversations. You're just taught to trust God, trust God, trust God. And I'm telling you, I'm going to trust God with everything that's in me, but I'm also going to trust God and do the work. And oftentimes I find is that we have not done the work. We think that we're in healed places. We think that we're in good places. But actuality, we're not. And it's the internal things that are going on inside of us that show up externally. I'm afraid of rejection, so I don't ask for help because I'm afraid that if I ask for help, right, that they're not going to want to help me because in the past, I've been rejected every single time I've asked for help. Right, the fear of failure, right? I have tried this before, it didn't work, and so now you're waiting on, I feel the Holy Ghost, y'all, but this is not a Holy Ghost live, but y'all just stay with me. However, we're waiting on signs, right? I'm waiting on a sign. I'm waiting on this sign. I'm waiting for God to show me exactly where He wants me to be. I'm waiting to see if this is God. Is this where you want me to be? Is this where you want me to move? You know what I'm saying? However, it's not a God sign thing. It's an internal thing where because I failed in the past, right? I failed in the past. I'm afraid of moving forward and I'm afraid of doing the thing that I know that I'm supposed to do or the thing I'm called to do. So the real reason you're stuck, it's not the external things. It's the internal barriers. It's the internal issues, right? And this is why my coaching is a little bit different because the problem is a lot of us want to start out real big, right? We're ready for the logos, we're ready for the websites, we're ready for to promote that this is what I'm doing. However, if you have not done the internal work, right? The internal is what's going to help you to maintain the external. When you've done the inside work, right? It makes it easy. for you to create community. Some of you cannot create community because of how you've grown up. Some of you cannot create community because of the mindset that you have. You're not willing to embrace. I'm telling you, one of the biggest areas that has helped me to be able to grow is what? Networking, getting to know new people, going into new spaces. But I could not go into new spaces if I was not willing to go there. And so the reason why many of us can't network and go meet new people because of our own traumas and our own insecurities that keep us right from being willing to go meet new people. And these are the conversations I know y'all don't like. I know y'all don't like this kind of talk because y'all we just ready to go dive and have these businesses. But I'm telling you right now, majority of people that I see, majorities of businesses, churches, people that I coach, the reason why they are struggling is not because of the external, it's the internal. There are pastors right now. Can I tell you? I'm gonna be honest. There are pastors right now that I've talked to, that I've had conversations with, that you have good people that want to help. But here's the thing: if you got internal issues that you have not dealt with, you don't let your people help. You don't let your people show up. You don't let your people work. Why? Because of the internal things that have told you, if I give them information, they're just gonna walk away. If I give them a position, they're just gonna leave you. Right? They're gonna take my people. Oh, they just want power. That's an internal problem. That ain't got nothing to do with them. And you are stunting your growth because you're not willing to release. Come on, you're not willing to release some of that and delegate. There are a lot of businesses right now. I talk to them and I'm like, they're like, you know what? I don't want the people in my business, or I'm not ready for them. I'm not ready for that yet. I don't trust people. Yeah, you don't trust people because of things that have happened to you. However, you will not grow if you're not willing to allow people to step in to assist you. What am I saying? This is not an external problem. What is it? An internal problem. These are things that you got to deal with on the inside of you. You got to be healed. You got to trust God. You got to have discernment so that when the people come, you let them help you. Some of you are not in relationships not because you haven't met great people, right? Let's be honest. But some of us are not because of the fact that our internal keeps messing up what happens on the external, right? The cycles, the behaviors, they keep showing up. So it's like the people want to come, right? They want, like, one of the worst things is some of you guys, because you're not in a healed place, sometimes what you post and project on social media, right? It messes up people's ability to trust you. It messes up people's ability to believe in you, to shop with you, to buy with you. Why? Because you haven't dealt with the internal things that keep showing up externally. So, you know, I want to buy with you, right? I want to shop with you. I want to do business with you. However, the internal aspects of who you are. You can have a great website but have sorry customer service. You can have good content, right? But you don't have good follow through. You got trust issues, right? You're a procrastinator. Some of us, we got it, right? But we're afraid to put ourselves out there because of what has happened to us in the past. And so a lot of times when I'm having these events, right? Like I'm getting ready to have on Saturday, I pray, plan, execute. This is not a church service. We're not praying, we're not laboring, we're not doing that because we've done that enough. Right now, it's time to get strategy. You need a strategy. And the first strategy that I'm gonna give you is that you got to deal with you. That's number one. Before I can tell you to make this cute little website, some of y'all got some good little posts out there. But if you don't deal with you first, right? Who you are right here in this moment, it trickles over into everything that you do. Shalom. So if you are a procrastinator at home, you're going to be a procrastinator in your business. You're going to be a procrastinator in your church. I am. I am live on YouTube as well. Yep. And so I came live on here mainly because I know people are fasting. And so we're also live on YouTube too. So yeah, you can go to the YouTube. It's on Life at the Well, and it's on my personal one as well. But how you do one thing is how you do all things, y'all. And that's all I'm trying to get us to that place is, we're what, 20 days in. And so a lot of us are in that place where we're like, why haven't I achieved my goals? Why haven't I seen what I said? Why is what I desire, I'm not seeing it. I gotta be honest. We're not seeing it because there's some internal work we gotta do. There's some, and it's not even just like the healing part, right? Because of course, as we go, there's some healing things, but there are some things that we just got to be willing to be honest about. And sometimes the honesty is like, that's just not my lane, right? That's just not a place that I operate in. And you got to get somebody on your team that's able to do it, right? I have to be honest that I am an outgoing person, but I'm not an outgoing person at the same time. If you follow me, for those of you that are like introverts with the extroverted assignment, sometimes we struggle, right? So you got to team up with somebody that may be more of an extrovert, right? Because they can help you to get out what you're trying to say. Because a lot of times people struggle with buying from you because you're not relatable, right? I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes you go to churches and some of the people that they got in charge, you be like, you need to come to the back. You need to put them in the background because they're good with what they do, but they're not good at articulating what you're saying. And so what happens is this. We're gonna talk about this on Saturday. What happens is, Pastor, you preach good, right? But some of the people that you have that are supposed to be representatives of you, right, are not in the right position. And so you're not grabbing the people are not staying because of the people that you have representing you. Why? Because that's not totally who they are. So you got to make sure that you're placing people in the right places and make sure that you are in the right place. The reason why I can be honest about why I've been able to be successful, why is because I've learned how to stay in my lane. One of the things that I always say, Tanae, listen, one thing I'm always gonna say is, hey, that's not my lane. I'm gonna call BB. Okay, so on Saturday, it's going to be virtual from 10 to 2. I'm gonna put the link up for you guys. I'll just have it up here. It's free, all right? And it is a free session where I'm gonna talk about all the things I'm talking about just more in depth. It's called I Pray, Plan, and Execute. It's for church leaders, faith-based leaders, individuals, entrepreneurs, anybody really that's like, I feel stuck, I need to execute, I need to pivot. Those of you that have been in ministry for a long time, business for a long time, but you feel like I need to shift into another place, I need to do something different, this is for you. We're going to talk about everything. It's free from 10 to 2. All right. And I'm telling y'all, it has been life changing. And I'm going to tell you why, because I'm teaching you what God gave me. All right. I'm teaching you blessings, prophetess. I'm giving you guys what the Father gave to me on how do you navigate through these things. And I had to learn. Let me tell you why. Because I had to learn how to navigate life, y'all, after being divorced. Right? Life after death, right? Because divorce is a death. And sometimes we struggle with certain things. And so if you don't deal with the internal things, y'all, they begin to show up in every area of your life. Every area of your life. How do I pivot? How do I shift? How do I go into something new? Life right now is scary for me. That's how many people, even coming out of COVID, people had to close their businesses. People had to close their churches. And so church looks different. Business looks different right now for me. And the problem is, if you don't shift out of the old mindset, right? You're not gonna get the things that you need. One of the biggest things I'm gonna teach y'all on Saturday, those of you, especially for those of you that are in ministry, is about learning how to read the room. Okay, what do I mean by that? Learning how to read the spaces that you're in, learning how to read the rooms that are not just church rooms, but you have the ability to have influence in those rooms, right? But the problem is, if you get stuck on, you got to speak in tongues, you get stuck on, and you always got to say Jesus, you get stuck on, the church language. Can I tell you, you're going to miss out on those rooms. But just because you can't say those things outwardly doesn't mean that he's not God, doesn't mean that he's not Jesus, doesn't mean that he's not Yeshua, doesn't mean that he's not still the head of your life. You got to know how to read the room. And so, what we teach is how to read the room. How do you shift your language? Right? I'm going to give you all this free little nugget. Many of your churches are struggling financially, right? But the thing about it is, there's money for churches, but you got to be willing to adjust your language to get the money. You got to be willing to adjust it. So there's money out there for us, right? There's church for church growth, all the different kind of things. But you are so stuck on, I got to be able to say Jesus in my language. He gonna always be that because your life is ministry, right? How you show up every single day is ministry. When I go into my salon, y'all, that's ministry. I don't have to say Jesus in order for it to say ministry. I don't have to, say, and the Lord said, in order for it to be ministry. I just speak and say what he said. Plenty of times I've been sitting with, there were people in my chair, and I remember this young lady, and the Lord began to show me certain things about her. I never once said, the Lord said, da 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 da. She began to share, and I just said, you know what? This is what I'm like kind of seeing. Like, have you ever struggled with this? And she was like, oh my God, how did you know? I didn't have to say Jesus said. I don't know where she was at in her belief system. And so I was like, I was like, have you ever dealt with this before? You know what I'm saying? I said, let me tell you something. I said, I just believe that she told me out of her mouth, she said, listen, she said, the doctors told me that I will always have to take this medication. So I feel like my hair is always going to fall out. I said, let me tell you this. I said, I just believe that you won't always have to be on this medication. And I'm just going to be praying, right? That you'll be able to come off this medication. Let me tell y'all something. Within 3 months, can I tell y'all within 3 months, she came back and she said, oh, you know what? I don't take that medicine no more. She said, actually, I started going to church and I've been learning how to cope. In that conversation, I never once said Jesus. In that conversation, I never once said what God said. What I said was, this is what I feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever dealt with this, whatever? And I'm going to be praying with you. That's what I said. Every time she would come get her hair done, I would do her hair and I would pray. She didn't know I was praying, but I was praying. Within 3 months, she came. What I'm saying is this, y'all. You got to know how to read the room. You got to know how to read where you are and understand that our authority doesn't come from being loud. I feel the Holy Ghost. Your authority doesn't come from being loud. Your authority doesn't come from only saying in Jesus' name and what the Lord is saying. The authority comes, y'all. Can I be honest? When you step into your assignment. When you just say, yes, God, you can use me in any way you want to use me. Can I tell you that's where the authority comes in? When I walk in rooms, I'm going to be honest. People are like, well, who are you? I need to know who you are. Why? Because the authority and the confidence of my assignment shows up. And that's what I'm telling y'all in this season, which is why I keep having these sessions. I can't tell y'all they're going to always be free, but I'm trying to get you to operate in the confidence of your assignment, that in any room that you walk in, there is a level of confidence and authority. That whatever's not right, y'all, I know how to shift the room. Listen, we've gotten it wrong because we like, oh, the separation of church and state and the separation of church. And, we're not supposed to be in politics. What y'all don't know is that my degree, come on, is in government and public policy. For a long time, that's the spaces that I operated in. Those are the spaces, honestly, that my parents, that I grew up in. We grew up in those spaces and watching things change and watching things shift. That I'm sitting at tables with people that I don't have to say, this is what the Lord is saying. All I have to do is live a life and release the word. Hey, y'all, I think we need to go about it this way. That's it. I sat down with a young lady the other day, and with a woman the other day, and we're talking, we're dialoguing. She was like, oh my God, she said it, I did. She's like, man, you are an apostolic shifter. I'm just giving you what the Lord said. I'm just telling you what he said. That's it. Simple. I'm just telling you what the Lord said. That's all. But I never once said Thus saith the Lord, even though she was a believer. Because in the space that I was in, I'm in my coaching space. I don't have to say thus saith the Lord. I'm just going to release what God has said. Hey, listen, this is how you need to go. This is how you need to shift your business. This is how you need to shift your ministry. If I was you, this is how I would align what you're getting ready to do. This is how I talk. This is how I would do. I would align myself in these places. I would align myself like this. What I'm saying, y'all, is this: the authority of what's inside of you is always going to show up. That's it. That's it, Tanae. And go be in the room. Listen, I go in random rooms all the time. They like, oh my God, you do so much. How do you do it? Can you tell me? Oh, I can tell you how I do it. There's a process to this. Showing up is always number one. But this is why it goes back to how you do one thing is how you do all things. Because some of you can't show up in rooms because you're insecure. Some of you can't show up in rooms because you got trauma. Some of you can't show up in rooms because you got triggers. I'm going to help you. It's the internal things. Today, people are not stuck because God don't want to give it to you. We're stuck because it's the internal things that keep fighting us every single day. That's it. Nobody, let me tell y'all, I'm telling y'all from what I know because of what had to come off of me, right? Nobody wants to hear from me. I ain't been in this thing long enough. I struggled because I had it, right? Let me tell you why I had it. I had it because one, the authority of God. Two, I had it because I've done my research, right? Three, because I've taken the classes and I've done the work. So I got it. So I struggled with dealing with leaders because sometimes as leaders, they got this high mind and they think they know everything and they think that they've arrived to this place that I no longer need to be taught. So I was like, God, they don't want to hear from me because, man, I ain't been pastoring for a long time. No, I have not been physically pastoring for a long time. But can I tell y'all, I've been pastoring for a long time. I don't need a title. I didn't need a title of pastoring to pastor, and I didn't need a title of apostle to be an apostle. It's just what's in me. I am a builder. I am a seer. I know what I am and what I do. And I've watched outside of the church be more receptive than people inside of the church because I knew how to read the room. I've watched businesses shift. And a lot of times, the people that I deal with, I'm going to be honest, they're not people that I can share because they don't always want their people to know that they don't know what they're doing. They don't want their people to know. And I'm okay with that, which is why I don't need the necessary proof to say, like, these are the businesses I work with and these are the churches I work through. I'm just going to be. And if you got discernment, come on, you'll pick it up and be like, you know what? I need to get with her. I need to work with her. She's somebody I need to work with. But I struggled with it, right? I let my insecurities keep me out of rooms because I say, man, I don't know if they want to hear from me because I ain't been doing this for a long time, for them to know. You know what I'm saying? Even though I've been doing this for a long time. But the Lord was like, show up and keep showing up. Don't let insecurities keep you out of rooms that, baby, you belong there. And I would walk in the room and I would hear the Lord say, you belong here. Come on, I came to tell somebody this morning, you belong there. Whatever room that God has allowed you to walk into, and can I tell you, whatever room, I feel the Holy Ghost on this, and whatever room that you claim to be yours belongs to you. Somebody type in the chat, it belongs to me. Because sometimes we're waiting on God to say, hey, you belong in this room. But sometimes you got to exercise the authority that's down on the inside of you and to know I got what it takes to be in this room and I'm walking in this room and I claim this room to be mine. Period. These are the spaces I'm just supposed to be in. Some of y'all are the biggest procrastinators, but procrastination is rooted a lot of time in fear. It's your fear that keeps you from producing. Some of it is the lack of discipline. And the lack of discipline, right, is rooted in behaviors and patterns. Y'all see how this works? I know we don't like this kind of talk, but I'm gonna talk it. And I'm gonna keep talking about it. It's not just in the natural realm, it's also in the spiritual realm. That's what I was preaching about the other day, right? Those generational things you've just been doing. Your mama procrastinated. Your daddy procrastinated. You didn't watch them procrastinate. I remember one time I used to hear my dad preach all the time, and he used to talk about people that lie. Right? He used to talk about people that get on the phone and you tell your job you're not coming to work today because da da da, and your kids hear you. right? He used to say, your children are listening to you, tell this lie. And your children are listening to you, tell your job why you can't come. And so now, listen to this. This is how generational behavior. And so you got kids that call out of work because they lazy and they don't want to go to work. And it's because they watched their parents be lazy and call out of work because they don't want to go to work. Generational. You sit at home and you don't do nothing. You be like, yeah, well, one day I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna tell you one thing my kids ain't never gonna worry about, right? It's gonna be execution. I got on my daughter this morning, real bad. I said, I have invested. You wanted the book, I did the book. I asked you to do a video of you opening up the books and you ain't did it yet. When you get home, you better do this video. And I'm not playing with you. What I'm saying is that you're gonna be an executor. You're not gonna sit on what you have. That's dumb. That's crazy. I'm not calling you dumb, but I'm like, it's dumb and crazy that you got what it takes and you don't do it. You don't exercise it. You're not working. You're not moving. You're not going to be lazy. They was in here the other day and my kids, they want to play. Let me tell y'all, listen, I don't play by my kids in no way, shape, or form. And they're like, we really, 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 really want to play AAU. And me and their daddy is like, if you don't want to be an athlete, I'm not paying for AAU basketball. I'm not traveling. I'm not taking off of work. I'm not paying money for hotels. If you don't want to be an athlete, y'all don't have an athlete's body. I buy food. You don't want to eat it. Y'all got money, so y'all do whatever y'all want to do. Okay, cool, fine. You want to DoorDash? You want to buy whatever you want on DoorDash? That's on you. I don't want to hear anything about you not being able to run up and down that court. Come on. This is how I gotta talk to them because y'all want me to spend money on stuff, but you don't want to do the things that you're supposed to do. I'm not spending money. And this is what we do. Y'all, we're wasting a lot of money on logos, websites, posts. You want a content creator. You creating content. But here's the thing, you're creating content for what? Because there's no follow-up. Why? Because your internal has not been built correctly. This is my issue with people that want growth, right? I'm okay. Listen, right where we are growing here at the Well in Aberdeen. Shout out to the Well Aberdeen. I love y'all. But listen, I'm okay. Why? Because we gotta get our systems in place. We gotta get some people in place. I got this, but we gotta get the people in place for the growth. I don't want our growth to come and our systems not be in place. We want the growth, but we don't have the stuff in place for the growth. It's not there. Okay. So you can't desire and want things so bad that you forget about. This is the same thing in business, is that we show up pretty, but the back end is ugly. Some of the churches and ministers and leaders, you show up on Sundays and you preach and you prophesy and it sounds good, but the back end of your church is horrible. Stuff is all over the place. Nothing is aligned. You don't know your bills not being paid. You don't know how much money you need to come in every single week so that you can cover your bills. You're not spending your money in the right places. You're wasting, I feel God, you're wasting money. Listen, business is the same way. Y'all show up pretty online every single day, but your systems are not in place. You don't know how much money it takes to run your business. You're wasting money on things that you're not supposed to waste money on. You wasting money on ads, but if the ads come in, who is following up with these people? You don't have nobody that can get your leads. You're not tackling your leads. These are the ugly conversations that we got to have because we're not seeing results because we don't have strategy. That's it. I'm telling y'all, you have what it takes. Many of you have dealt with the internal issues and I got to go to work. Many of you are dealing with internal and you're saying, God, what is wrong with me? Why am I not seeing it? I've had this idea for a long time, but why am I not seeing it? And I feel the Lord saying, it's not the fact that you don't have it. You just don't have the right strategy. You don't have no structure in your life. And where there is no strategy and there's no structure, there are no results. Listen, my people on the line right now that have followed, that have been in my vision lab, that have done one-on-one coaching, I'm telling y'all, they are seeing results right now. Books are being released. working on book launches. One of my clients, she went from not having enough clients to working a second job that by the time she got done with my 3-month program, she was in her own building, keys to her own building. Now she's maxed out to the point where she has a wait list, quit the other job, and she is a full-time tutor. Why? All she needed was strategy. That's it. All she needed was a plan. That's it. My very first client, Trey, he'll tell y'all he was working a 9 to 5 and he was like, I'm going to quit. I said, okay, well, if you quit, this is what we need to do. I was like, listen, these are the spaces that you need to find yourself in. So now you are the social media person for a whole basketball team. My people are seeing results. Why? Because all you need strategy and you need structure. We're not getting on. Listen, we're not coming on this line. When I do my one-on-one coaching, we're not coming on here. We're not praying all day. Everybody open up a little bit in prayer. If that's your faith. Because if it's not my client's faith, it's not my client's faith, right? I don't push nothing on nobody. This is why this is a faith-based event, right? Because it's whatever your faith is. I'm not trying to persuade nobody to come over on my side. We're not prayer heavy. We're not scripture heavy. We are results heavy, right? We are strategy heavy. I've just come to give you the strategy, and you pair your faith, right, with the strategy, and you're going to get results. It's not my job to persuade nobody to become and be anything else other than what they already are. All right. So those of you that are getting on and you're like, I pray, plan, execute. I know how you operate, and I know you like to speak in tongues. I'm not speaking in tongues on Saturday. Okay. That's not my job. Okay. That's not what I'm here to do. I got to read the room. That's not what that room is for. In the timing, absolutely. And I know people like, well, you're just trying to leave God. I'm not leaving God out of anything, right? He's in whatever thing that I'm doing. And every time I open up my mouth to talk, he's in what I'm doing and he's in what I'm saying, right? But what I'm saying is that this, and I'm going to work, is that get your internal together so that you can be successful on the external side. That's all. You got the goods. You belong here. You belong in the rooms. You belong in the spaces that you're supposed to be in, right? But let that external come together with the internal. I'm telling you, I just believe in 20. I'm telling y'all, we're going to see what he said. We've been saying since, that's it. We've been saying since New Year's Eve that by the end of the year, I'm going to be unrecognizable. It's going to happen so fast. Listen, your head's going to swim. Come on, one thing on the heels of another. And can I tell y'all what that comes from? Alignment. That's what it comes from. So listen, y'all, this is a virtual event. Okay. You can do it from wherever you are. If you're working, you can put the Zoom in. If you want to get the replays, you can pay $49.99 and it comes with the website and the replay. So for those of you that say, like, in the moment, I may not be able to catch it, $49.99 is going to give you the workbook and it gets you the replays that you can continue to watch over and over again. All right. Yeah, thank you so much, Prophetess Ferd. Absolutely, for sure. This is balance, and we got to be a balanced people. I think this is what been one of the biggest things that has been missing in our execution and in the church. I'm gonna be honest, is that we got to teach people how to have that balance and how to be able to operate in these spaces. And I'm telling y'all, there are rooms that are waiting on us. They just don't look like the rooms that we think they're supposed to look like. That's all. I'm telling y'all, there are rooms with people that can write checks, to fund what we have. You just got to go in that room. But you can't go in that room with the idea that, yeah, can you come to my church? And I want you to join my church and join my ministry and all that. No, that's not the conversation sometimes of those rooms. They want to see what is the impact. And this is why we got to shift. And I got to go. This is why we got to shift our language, because the reality is that when you go in those rooms, you are empowering women. I went to a place, just a networking event one time, and they were like, tell us about what you do. And I said, like, we do women empowerment, we do youth enrichment programs, we help the youth, we have mentoring groups, right? That's what we're doing. That's the basis of what we're doing anyway. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to, yeah, we got a women's ministry, we got a youth ministry. You know what I'm saying? Think about the language and what's different, right? Ministry, youth empowerment, women empowerment. We doing the same thing. And if you can be willing to shift your language, if you can be willing to shift in these rooms, I promise you, it's people in these rooms that's like, listen, I gotta check. Let me tell y'all, I went and we talk about wellness all the time. And I went in the room and I told the people like what we do. And let me tell y'all, they wrote us a check for $1,000. I'm telling you, they wrote us a check for $1,000 to help us. Why did they write us a check for $1,000? Because I'm telling them what we do. And life at the well is all about the whole person, right? Well, yeah, we're gonna preach, we're gonna prophesy, we're gonna do all that. But most of all, we're gonna empower you to live well. Period. They're like, okay, well, I'm in. Because this is what we need right now. And so late, it's a shift in ministry because we're not used to that kind of church. Some of us we are used to, all the things. But I'm telling you, you got to slow down and hear what the word of the Lord is saying. All I got is the word of God for you. But after we come out of the word, I told them today, no, when we come out of the word, we got to go to work. When we come out of the word, okay, what's the follow up? What do you need? I've been asking the people that have been coming to the church, hey, where are you struggling at? What do you need? Come on, we got to meet the needs of the people. It goes beyond Sundays speaking in tongues and shouting. When you come up out of this, what do you need? Because I need to know what's going to help you. I feel the Holy Ghost. It's going to help somebody. What do you need to sustain beyond this moment? Because when you come out of this speaking in tongues, the bills is going to be real. Come on, the trauma is going to be real. The heartache is going to be real. The pain is going to be real. We got to know, how do I meet the people where they are? And in those rooms, y'all, I'm telling y'all, every day, when I begin, I'm flying every single week. And when I get on that airplane, I don't know who I'm talking to. They asking me questions. I got my Be Well hoodie. They're like, oh my God, like, what is Be Well? The lady said, can you send me a link so I can order it? I sure can. What is Be Well? Be Well is the declaration. BB told us on Sunday, she came in the back and she told me, she said, Be Well is a salutation. This is how we greet people. Be well. Right? And then they shift to it is well. But how we introduce, hey, listen, just be well. So when they come and they ask you, who are you and what do you do? What is this? Oh, we're just a community of believers that prioritize wellness in our mind, our body, and our spirit. Period. That's who we are and what we do. Read the room. Stop being afraid to go into rooms. Because you don't know who has listen, I wait in expectation of who got that check in their hand. I'm prepared. That's what I preached about on Sunday. We say we're waiting, but can I tell y'all the definition of waiting? We've gotten waiting wrong. Waiting is being prepared and ready. Waiting is not sitting doing nothing. And I think that's why a lot of us in church struggle with execution because we say, I'm waiting on God. No, the definition of waiting means to be prepared and to be ready. A lot of us are saying we're waiting on God, but you're not prepared and you're not ready. You're just not patient. That's all. And patience has everything to do about posturing yourself in delay. That's what patience is. So some of y'all say, I'm a patient person. No, you're not, because you're not postured. You ain't waiting on God to do nothing because you're not ready. And so if I came to y'all, this is why y'all need to be on our Pray, Plan, Execute on Saturday. Because if somebody came to you today and said, Tiffany, how much does it take to run your life? How much does it take to run your business? How much does it take for you to open up a clinic? If you don't have the answer to those questions, you're not ready. If you cannot give me projections of where you are going, where's your business going? How much does it cost per item that you create? You're not ready. If you can't tell me how much it's going to cost for your next, you're not ready. You're not prepared. That's not waiting. That's just sitting on the sideline. So when we talk about being ready, we talk about what it means to really wait on God. It means showing up to our Pray, Plan, Execute virtual this Saturday from 10 to 2, being in the room, being present in the room, getting the information so that you can show up well in your next assignment. Come on, you are telling the truth up in here this morning. I'm telling y'all. These are things that I have had to learn to navigate. And to some people, my coaching may be a little bit tedious because I'm like, well, why do you have to be this precise? I'm not saying I leave room for the Father. I'm telling y'all, I leave room for him to do whatever he needs to do. But I also got to make sure that leaving room for God to do what he's going to do also means I got to know what I'm doing. Come on, y'all. God don't want us to be oblivious. He don't want you to lack knowledge. He talks about us having knowledge and the importance of wisdom and knowledge. You should know your numbers. You just don't go to an accountant and you don't know your numbers and you don't know how to find your numbers, right? Some of y'all are going to these people and they're doing everything for you and you're lost. Let me tell you one thing I don't do, and I got to get off of here and go to work. One thing I don't do is I'm not writing people's business plans. Right? Why am I not writing your business plan? I'm not writing your business plan because it's your vision. And you need to tell your vision what you wanted to do and where you want it to go. And some of y'all letting other people write it because you're lazy and you don't want to do the work. Somebody said, well, I just don't have the time. If you don't have the time to cast vision, you don't have the time to be a leader. If you don't have the time to cast vision, you don't have the time to be a business owner. Because as a leader, it's not our job just to have vision. What did I tell y'all the other day? It's also my job to be able to articulate my vision. So if you don't have time to write business plans, if you don't have time to write to work on your business, you don't have time to be a business owner. I got to be able to tell my business where it's going. My business doesn't run me. I run it. I'm telling you, I run my business. My clients don't run my business. I don't care what days work for you. I know what days work for me and what days I'm willing to sacrifice and the capacity of my life. Oh, I'm going to lose clients. Well, you're just going to lose clients. Because you can't tell me how to run my business. You can't tell me what days work for you and what times work for you. Now, as a business owner, you got to be wise, right? You got to be wise enough to know, okay, for the business that I'm in, I may have to kind of adjust a little bit. However, that's right. Dang, I came in was hot and heavy. Accountability. Y'all already know this is y'all accountability call for the morning. This is y'all go moment. And I'm trying to do better with coming on here, y'all, because y'all know I be slipping and sliding these days. I'm gonna do better. But I want us to be well in every area of our life. And I want us to be well in our businesses. I want us to execute. We're leaving too much money on the table. Many of us are struggling financially right now. And you're struggling financially because you're not willing to do the work. That's it. Struggling financially. One of my girls, and it's the thing, anybody that you got access to me and you're struggling, you crazy. Cause I'd be like, y'all got access to me and y'all know I hear the Lord. Okay. Ask me what you need to ask me. I'm gonna help you. And I was talking to one of my girls, she said, I'm looking for a part-time job. I said, looking for a part-time job. What are you looking for a part-time job for? You have a whole company that you're not operating. You got a whole business, certifications. You need to go. You're going to go. You mean to tell me that you're going to work for $20 an hour or less, door dashing or doing this business when you can do somebody's financial projections and make almost $50 an hour? $150 an hour? You crazy. Get up, get this work done, and tell me what you need help with. And let's get it done. Let's do the work. I tell you all the time, yes, I'm busy, but this is my job. Like, I have the capacity to do what I do. So why are y'all struggling? And y'all be on my statuses all the time. I'll be like, reach out, ask the questions that you need to ask. Now, when we get into this part, we're like, okay, listen, it's going to cost a little bit of money. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. All right, cool. I'm like, okay, it may cost if we need to do like a laundry or stretch or something. But if you got questions and you got access to me and you don't ask me, that's on you. I do free classes all the time. It don't make no sense that the classes don't be filled, but on your statuses, you complaining all day. It's too many free workshops. I be sharing them. Too much free content for y'all to be struggling. This is why I said it's not an external problem. Y'all keep saying, I don't got resources. I don't have the money. People don't want to help me. No, you are lazy. You are a procrastinator. Come on, you got some fear. You're insecure. You got patterns of this type of behavior, right? That's the problem. That's it. So stop blaming it on these external things where, oh, people don't want to help me. People, they gatekeep. No, it's too much free information out here for y'all to be talking about somebody gatekeeping. It's a lie to the pits, from the pits. What y'all want is somebody to do it for you. That's the problem. And I'm not. I don't have time to run your business and run mine. I have time to give you the tools. I have time to hold you accountable, and I have the time to give you what I know to get you there. What I don't have time for is to run your business. And what I also don't have time for is to babysit you. So if you come to my coaching, I'm not a babysitter. I'm not going to babysit you. That's not my job. I'm going to push you to do better and be better. And these are the tough conversations, right? I know. It probably hurt a little bit this morning. It was probably a little ouch moment. But I'm tired of us being in the same place. I am. I really am. I'm tired. I'm tired of us all not winning. I'm tired of us not all being in a place where we're all getting all that we're supposed to have. I'm tired of us being in the places where we're broke, and you broke because you're lazy. Not because you don't have the goods and you don't have the ability to produce, because you're lazy. I'm tired. I don't want to be in places, right, as a leader where I'm the only one being productive. I don't want to be in a place as a leader where I'm the only one driving certain cars and I'm the only person doing, and the rest of my congregation is lacking. That's crazy. Even in my circle, I've been asking my friends, what do y'all need? How can I support you? What do you need help with? I'm building out stuff for them. I'm getting my assistant. Hey, listen, I need you to do this X, Y, Z, because I need to make sure their stuff is together. I need to make sure this is together. When I have events, I ask my people, do you have banners? Do you have resources? Do you have this? Why? It don't make no sense for me to show up and look like this, but the people around me are not showing up confident and having the things that they need. So some of this stuff is because we're just lazy. That's all. And we're not disciplined. Y'all, we got to be a disciplined people. I promise you, you're going to see the results. It's going to pay off. I'm a witness. I'm a witness that when you do the work, it pays off. I am a witness that if you're willing to make the sacrifices, I'm telling y'all, you can see what he said. So I want to give y'all, listen, this Saturday from 10 to 2, sign up. It is free. Okay. I don't know how many times I can say it. Free information. I am taking time out of my day. Okay. I travel every weekend to Maryland. I'm taking time out of my day from 10 to 2. For those of you that do free, it's 10 to 2. From 2 to 4 is going to be a VIP Q&A where we work directly with businesses. All right. But from 10 to 2, and y'all know if I'm talking like this on a live, y'all know I don't hold back. I'm not stingy. Get the information. All right. But aside from that, I want y'all to be on the lookout. If y'all are not a part of my community, I want y'all to get there. All right. TakaraNicole.com. Make sure y'all sign up. If you're not following, make sure you follow me. Starting in March, I want to say, I'm going to start hosting twice a week. I'm going to start hosting once a quarter virtual cohorts. Yes, this will be Zoom. Yep. So this is straight virtual, y'all. Okay. But I am going to start hosting out of my own time, quarterly virtual co-working cohorts. All right. It's going to be free. That for twice a week, once each quarter, that I'm going to work with you for free. You hop on the line, we'll work together, ask your questions, we're going to play music, we're going to talk. It's going to be free. I'm telling y'all now. You're going to want to be in the room. That's it. Be in the room. This is what I'm telling y'all we're going to be doing. We're also going to have a couple some different meetups that we're getting ready to do. Find yourself if you cannot afford one-on-one coaching. I have a vision lab coming up. My vision lab is $500 for 8 weeks of coaching. All right? It's coming up in March. I'm trying to find some affordable things because y'all keep talking about this money thing, but y'all find money for everything else. But I'm trying to make it affordable for y'all. But what I'm doing, y'all, be in the room. I'm telling y'all, come be in the room. Come be in the virtual spaces. Come be in the in-person spaces. Come, like I'm telling y'all, it's so much power when you link up with people that are doing the same thing that you're trying to do. Me and my business bestie, we do everything together. We do church together. We do business together. We have a whole company that y'all don't probably some of y'all know about, but it's Transform Now Coaching and Consulting Services. And I'll drop the links after I get off of the live where we literally do church business daily. What y'all see on this side is what y'all see at church. It's all in the same thing. That's my executive pastor at church. That's my executive director in the business. What I'm saying is that we found each other on accountability calls. We also said that we're getting ready to host an event that's called Find Your Business Bestie. All right. So for those of you that are looking for your business bestie, we're getting ready to host a virtual event where we help you find your business bestie. All right. And we'll utilize some different tools that kind of help you find out who you are supposed to be working with. What y'all don't know is that me and BB are two totally different people, right? Y'all will hear our story on Saturday. We are two totally different people. The way we operate, the way we think. She is an extrovert. I'm an extrovert. She is very much people and process. I'm very much problem driven. Like we're two totally different people, right? But we come together to make it work. So sometimes y'all looking for people that are, so just like you. You don't need another you. And I'm not going to go into Saturday because I don't want to go too deep. But you don't need another you. You are who you are. Okay? All right. So listen, I'll see y'all Saturday, 10 to 2. Be in the room. If you're not, subscribe to my website. Make sure you're following me. If you just want information, you're not getting it, it's not coming to your inbox. Listen, y'all, inbox me directly. I will make sure that you get what you need. Right? You are not lazy, but the collab is crazy. Absolutely. I'm telling y'all, I'm teaching y'all from what I know, from what the Holy Spirit has given me. And I'm telling y'all, faith plus strategy equals results. I am very much results driven. I'm execute driven. I want to see what's the bottom line. I want to see it get it done. So let's work. So I'll see y'all Saturday, 10 to 2. Sign up right now. Don't delay. If you need the replays, you want the replays, there is a VIP option. Grab the VIP ticket. That also gives you access to the workbook as well. That will kind of guide you. The workbook is something that you can use at any moment, anytime, any day. All right. And like I said, make sure y'all are following me so that when the information is coming out for all the events that we're getting ready to do, everything, we're getting ready to unfold what we're doing for the rest of the year. Same thing with Life at the Well. Those of you that are a part of the well, we love y'all so much. We get ready to unveil what we're doing for the rest of the year. Listen, it's gonna be there, and you just pick and choose what you coming to, pick and choose what you signing up for, pick and choose what you gonna come to. But listen, we said we doing this thing for the year. But I promise you guys, be in the room. You don't want to miss it. I love y'all so